Have you ever sat in a quiet room and felt like the silence was louder than any noise you've ever heard? Like the world is still moving fast, but somehow it forgot to take you along with it. Maybe the phone doesn't ring as often. Maybe the house feels bigger than it used to. And maybe, deep down, there's a question you don't always say out loud. Do I still matter? If you've ever felt that way, I want you to know something right now. This feeling is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new kind of strength. Because loneliness is not a life sentence. It's a signal. And today we're going to turn that signal into something powerful. I understand how this feels. Truly. There are moments in life when everything changes. Retirement, children moving away, losing friends, losing a partner. The routine you once knew disappears. And suddenly, your days feel longer, quieter, and sometimes heavier. You wake up and wonder what the day is really for. And it's not that you don't have strength. You've lived through decades of challenges, responsibilities, and sacrifices. You've raised families, built careers, faced loss, and kept going when things were hard. But this kind of loneliness, it's different. It's quiet. It's slow. It doesn't shout, it whispers. And because it whispers, it can make you believe things that are not true. It can make you believe that your time has passed, that your best days are behind you, that you're no longer needed in the same way. But let me tell you something very clearly. Those thoughts are not facts. They are just feelings. And feelings can change. The truth is, your life still holds deep value. Not just because of what you've done, but because of who you are right now. Your experiences, your wisdom, your stories, your presence. These are things the world still needs. Maybe not in the same way as before, but in a new, meaningful way that you haven't fully discovered yet. Loneliness often comes when connection changes. Not disappears, just changes. And when something changes, we have two choices. We can hold on to how things used to be, or we can gently begin to build something new. Strength doesn't always look like lifting heavy things or pushing through pain. Sometimes, strength looks like getting out of bed when you don't feel like it. Sometimes, it looks like picking up the phone and calling someone first. Sometimes, it's stepping outside. Even when your mind says, why bother? Strength, at this stage of life, is quieter, but it is just as powerful. Let me share something important with you. You are not alone in feeling lonely. Millions of people, especially in later years, experience this. And that means something very important. It means this is not a personal failure. It's a human experience. And like all human experiences, it can be shaped, improved, and transformed. Connection doesn't always come back the way it once was, but it can return in new and beautiful forms. A short conversation with a neighbor, a smile exchanged during a morning walk, a small group activity, even a simple hello can begin to rebuild something inside you. And here's something many people don't talk about. Your mind needs connection, just like your body needs food. When you're connected, even in small ways, your mood lifts, your thoughts become lighter, and your energy begins to return. It doesn't happen all at once, but step by step, it grows. You might be thinking, but it's hard. It's not easy to start again. And you're right. It's not always easy. But you've done hard things before. You've started over before, even if you didn't realize it at the time. Every new phase of your life required adjustment. And this phase is no different. Let's talk about something powerful, your story. You have lived through decades of life. Think about that. The lessons you've learned, the challenges you've overcome, the love you've given. That is not something small. That is something rare. And there are people in this world who could learn so much just by listening to you. But here's the key. You have to allow yourself to be seen again. Not as who you were years ago, but as who you are today. Still growing, still learning, still capable of connection. Now, I want to gently shift something in your thinking. Instead of asking, why am I alone? Try asking, what small step can I take today to feel a little more connected? Not a big step, just a small one. Because small steps are how big changes begin. Maybe today, that step is stepping outside for fresh air. Maybe it's talking to someone, even for a few minutes. Maybe it's joining a local group, or even just sitting in a place where other people are around. You don't have to force deep conversations. Just being around others can slowly rebuild that sense of belonging. And don't underestimate routine. A simple daily routine can bring structure, and structure brings stability. Wake up at a regular time. Eat meals at consistent hours. Add one small activity that brings you a sense of purpose. It could be reading, gardening, walking, or even learning something new. Your brain is still capable of growth. No matter your age, you can still learn, adapt, and create new patterns. And every time you do something slightly different, you send a message to your mind. I am still alive. I am still moving forward. Let's talk about inspiration. Inspiration doesn't always come from big achievements. Sometimes it comes from small wins. Getting through the day with a positive thought, reaching out to someone, trying something new. These are not small things. They are powerful steps toward a better life. And here's something I want you to remember deeply. You are allowed to feel joy again. You are allowed to laugh, to feel excited, to look forward to something. Your age does not take that away from you. In fact, it gives you a deeper understanding of how valuable those moments truly are. Now, let's make this practical. Let's bring this into real, simple actions you can take starting today. First, connect with one person. Just one. It could be a family member, a friend, or even someone new. Keep it simple. A short conversation is enough. Second, move your body a little every day. It doesn't have to be intense. A short walk, some stretching, or even moving around your home. Movement improves mood more than most people realize. Third, create a small daily purpose. Give your day a reason. It could be as simple as organizing something, reading a chapter of a book, or learning a new skill. Fourth, limit negative thinking by gently redirecting your mind. When you notice thoughts like, I'm alone or I don't matter, pause and replace them with something more balanced, like, I am learning to reconnect, or my life still has value. Fifth, allow yourself to try something new. It could be a hobby, a class, or even watching something educational. New experiences bring new energy into your life. You don't have to do all of this perfectly. You just have to begin. Because the truth is, strength is not about never feeling lonely. It's about not letting loneliness define you. It's about saying, yes, I feel this, but I will not stop living because of it. You are still here, and that means something. It means your story is not finished. It means there are still moments waiting for you. Moments of connection, moments of peace, moments of joy. And maybe, just maybe, this chapter of your life, the one that feels quiet right now, will become one of the most meaningful chapters you've ever lived. So take a breath, look around you, and remind yourself, you are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not finished. You are evolving. And if this message spoke to you, stay with me. There's more to come that can help you build that strength and connection step by step. Make sure you're here for the next part, because your journey forward is just getting started. Let's go a little deeper now, because understanding loneliness is one thing, but transforming it into strength requires a shift in how you see yourself and your place in the world. There's a quiet truth that many people don't say out loud. Sometimes loneliness is not just about being physically alone. You can be surrounded by people and still feel disconnected. And on the other hand, you can be by yourself and feel peaceful, even fulfilled. The difference is not always in the number of people around you. It's in the sense of meaning and connection you feel inside. Right now, I want you to think about something very simple. When was the last time you felt truly needed? Not just busy, but needed. For many people, especially later in life, that feeling begins to fade. Responsibilities change. Roles shift. And suddenly, The world doesn't ask as much from you as it used to. But here's the important part. That doesn't mean you have nothing left to give. It just means the way you give is ready to change. You've spent years giving to others, family, work, community. And now, life is offering you a different kind of opportunity. Not to stop giving, but to give in a way that also fills you back up. Let me explain what I mean. There is a powerful kind of strength that comes from contribution, not the kind that exhausts you, but the kind that reminds you, I still matter. And contribution doesn't have to be big or complicated. It can be as simple as sharing advice, helping someone with a small task, or even listening to someone who needs to talk. You might not realize it, but your presence alone can make a difference in someone else's day. A kind word, a smile, a short conversation, these things carry more weight than you think. Especially in a world where many people, young and old, are quietly struggling with their own feelings of isolation. And here's something powerful. When you help someone else feel less alone, you also reduce your own loneliness. It creates a bridge, a connection, a reminder that you are still part of something bigger. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but where do I even start? That question is completely valid. Starting again socially can feel uncomfortable. It can feel uncertain, but the key is to lower the pressure. You don't need to suddenly become outgoing or change your personality. You just need to open small doors. Maybe it starts with going to the same place regularly, a park, a local shop, a community center. Familiarity creates comfort. And over time, small interactions begin to grow naturally. Maybe it's joining a group not because you have to talk a lot, but just to be present. Being around others with a shared interest can slowly rebuild that sense of belonging. Or maybe it's reconnecting with someone from your past. A simple message, a simple call. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Let's also talk about something that often goes unnoticed. Your inner dialogue. The way you speak to yourself matters more than you think. If your mind keeps repeating, I'm alone, I'm forgotten, I'm not important anymore, those thoughts will shape how you feel and how you act. They can quietly hold you back from reaching out, from trying, from opening up. But here's the truth, your mind listens to what you tell it. And you have more control over that than you may realize. Instead of letting those thoughts run automatically, begin to gently challenge them. Not with force, but with awareness. When you notice a negative thought, pause and ask yourself, is this completely true? Often, the answer is no. It's a feeling, not a fact. Then replace it with something more supportive. Something like, I am learning to reconnect, or I still have something to offer, or even, this is just a moment, not my whole life. These small shifts may not seem powerful at first, but over time, they change your emotional direction. Now let's talk about inspiration in a different way. Inspiration is not something you wait for. It's something you create through action. Many people think, I'll do something when I feel motivated. But the truth is, motivation often comes after you begin, not before. So instead of waiting to feel ready, take one small action. Just one. Step outside, sit in the sunlight, say hello to someone, read something new, move your body. When you take action, even in a small way, your brain starts to respond. It says, something is happening. And that creates momentum. Momentum is powerful. It's how you move from feeling stuck to feeling alive again. And here's something I want you to hold on to. Progress at this stage of life is not about speed. It's about consistency. Slow, steady, gentle progress. You don't need to rush. You don't need to compare yourself to anyone else. Your journey is your own. Now, let's bring this into a few simple but meaningful steps you can begin adding into your daily life. Start your day with intention. Before you even get out of bed, take a moment and say to yourself, today, I will take one small step to connect. Just one. That's all you need. Create moments of human contact, even brief ones. a greeting, a smile, a short exchange. These moments may seem small, but they build emotional connection over time. Give something each day. It could be your time, your attention, your kindness. Giving creates purpose, and purpose reduces loneliness. Keep your mind active. Learn something new, even if it's simple. Read, listen, observe. Your brain thrives on engagement. And most importantly, be patient with yourself. Change doesn't happen overnight, but every small effort you make is a step toward a stronger, more connected life. You are not trying to go back to how things were. You are creating something new, something that fits who you are today. And that is a powerful thing, because strength at this stage of life is not about holding on to the past. It's about building a meaningful present. So take your time. Be kind to yourself. And remember, every small step you take is proof that you are still moving forward. And you are not alone in this journey. Stay with me, because in the next part, we're going to explore how to rebuild confidence, rediscover joy, and create a life that feels full again, one step at a time. Now let's talk about something that quietly fades for many people over time. Confidence. Not the loud kind of confidence, not the kind that needs attention, but the quiet belief that I can still do this. I still have something inside me. Because loneliness doesn't just affect your surroundings. It slowly affects how you see yourself. It can make you hesitate. It can make you second-guess simple things. It can even make you pull back from opportunities to connect before you've given them a real chance. But here's something important to understand. Confidence is not something you either have or don't have. It's something you rebuild, step by step, action by action. And the good news is, it doesn't require anything complicated. Confidence begins with keeping small promises to yourself. If you tell yourself, I will go for a short walk today, and you actually do it, that's confidence. If you say, I will talk to one person, and you follow through, that's confidence. If you decide, I will try something new, and you take that step, that's confidence. These small actions may not look big from the outside, but inside your mind, they send a powerful message. I can still rely on myself. And when you begin to trust yourself again, something shifts. You start to feel more stable, more capable, more open. Now, let's connect this to joy. Because many people believe that joy is something that just happens. But in reality, joy is something you allow. Over time, especially after loss or change, people sometimes close themselves off from joy without realizing it. They stop expecting good moments. They stop looking for them, and slowly, life begins to feel flat. But joy doesn't disappear. It becomes quieter, smaller, more subtle. It shows up in simple things. The warmth of sunlight on your face, the taste of your favorite food, the sound of a familiar song, a kind conversation, a peaceful moment. The question is not whether joy exists. The question is, are you allowing yourself to notice it? Because when you begin to notice small moments of comfort or happiness, you start to rebuild a sense of emotional richness in your life. And this matters more than you think. Now, I want to talk about something very real: fear of change. Even when we want life to feel better, there's often a part of us that resists doing things differently. It's not because we don't want improvement. It's because change feels uncertain. You might think, what if I try and it doesn't work? Or what if I feel uncomfortable? Or even, what if people don't respond the way I hope? These thoughts are natural, but they can quietly keep you stuck if you let them take control. So here's a simple way to approach this. Don't aim for comfort. Aim for growth. Growth sometimes feels unfamiliar, sometimes even a little uncomfortable. But that discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that something new is happening. And new experiences are exactly what help break the cycle of loneliness. Let's make this very practical again. One powerful way to rebuild confidence and joy is through something called planned engagement. That simply means deciding in advance to do something that involves activity or connection. Not waiting for the mood, not waiting for the perfect moment, but choosing it ahead of time. For example, you might decide, tomorrow morning, I will go for a walk at this time. Or, this week I will visit a place where people gather. Or even, today I will spend 10 minutes learning something new. When you plan it, you remove the uncertainty. And when you follow through, you strengthen your sense of control. Another important step is allowing yourself to be a beginner again. Many people avoid trying new things because they feel they should already know how to do them. But learning is not limited by age. In fact, learning keeps your mind active and your spirit engaged. It could be something simple, using a new piece of technology, trying a hobby, exploring a new interest. You don't have to master it, you just have to experience it. Because every new experience adds something to your life. It gives you something to think about, something to talk about, something to look forward to. Now let's talk about connection in a deeper way. Connection is not just about talking, it's about feeling understood, even in small ways. You don't need dozens of people in your life to feel connected. Sometimes, just one or two meaningful connections can completely change how you feel day to day. So instead of focusing on quantity, focus on quality. When you talk to someone, be present. Listen. Share something small about your day. Let the conversation be simple and real. And here's something important: don't expect every interaction to be perfect. Some conversations will feel natural. Others might feel a little awkward. That's normal. Connection builds over time, not in one moment. Now, I want to remind you of something very powerful. You are still growing. It may not look the same as earlier in your life, but growth is still happening. Every time you try, every time you reflect, every time you choose to move forward, instead of staying stuck. Your life is not in a waiting period. It is in an active, meaningful phase. And the more you engage with it, even in small ways, the more alive it will begin to feel. Let's bring this into a few clear, simple steps you can carry with you. Keep one small promise to yourself every day. Something you can complete. Something that builds trust within yourself. Notice one moment of joy each day. It doesn't have to be big, just something that feels good, even for a few seconds. Plan one small activity ahead of time. Give your day a point of focus. Try something new once in a while. Keep your mind open and engaged, and allow yourself to feel proud of small progress. Because small progress is still progress. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. You just need to gently move in a better direction. And as you do that, something beautiful begins to happen. The loneliness that once felt heavy starts to feel lighter. The days that once felt empty begin to feel meaningful again. Not because everything around you changed instantly, but because you changed how you responded to it. And that is real strength. So keep going. Keep taking those small steps. Because in the next part, we're going to bring everything together: how to build a daily life that feels connected, meaningful, and truly worth waking up for. Stay with me. Your next chapter is taking shape, one step at a time. Now let's bring everything together in a way that feels real, simple, and possible for your everyday life. Not something complicated, not something overwhelming. Just a way of living that slowly turns your days from empty into meaningful again. Because at the end of the day, what we're really building here is not just connection with others, but a stronger connection with your own life. A life where you wake up and feel like there is something to step into, something to experience, something to look forward to, even if it's small. You don't need a perfect life to feel fulfilled. You just need a life that feels active, connected, and intentional. So let's imagine your day for a moment. You wake up in the morning, not rushing, not feeling lost, but grounded. You take a breath, and instead of thinking, another long day, you gently remind yourself, today, I will live this day. You start with something small. Maybe you open a window and let fresh air in. Maybe you stretch your body. Maybe you sit quietly with your thoughts for a few minutes. Nothing big, just a calm beginning. Then, you give your day a simple direction, one small purpose. It could be going for a walk, calling someone, visiting a familiar place, or even completing a small task at home. That purpose becomes your anchor. It gives your day structure. As the day moves forward, you allow moments of connection to happen. You don't force them. You don't pressure yourself. You simply stay open. A short conversation, a smile, a few words exchanged. These moments may seem ordinary, but over time, they build something powerful, a sense that you are still part of the world around you. You also give yourself permission to enjoy simple things. A cup of tea, a favorite show, a memory that makes you smile. You don't push these moments away. You allow them. And as evening comes, instead of focusing on what was missing, you gently reflect on what you did. Even if it was just one small step, you acknowledge it. You respect it. Because that is how a meaningful life is built now, one day at a time, one small step at a time. This is your new rhythm, not rushed, not forced, but steady. And here's the truth. You don't need to eliminate loneliness completely to live a strong life. There may still be quiet moments. There may still be days that feel heavier than others. But now, you know how to respond to those moments. You don't sink into them the same way. You don't let them define you. You recognize them, and then you take a step forward anyway. That is strength. Strength is not about always feeling good. It's about not giving up on yourself when you don't. And I want to say something very clearly to you. You are not behind in life. You are not too late. You are not forgotten. You are in a stage of life where you finally have the space to shape your days differently, to slow down, to choose what matters, to reconnect in a way that feels more honest and more peaceful. And yes, it may feel unfamiliar at first, but unfamiliar does not mean impossible. Everything you need to rebuild connection, purpose, and even joy is still within you. Your ability to care, your ability to learn, your ability to reach out, your ability to begin again. These things did not disappear with time. They are still there, quiet, maybe, but ready. So from this moment forward, don't wait for life to come to you. Meet it halfway. Take that walk. Make that call. Step outside. Try something new. Not because it will change everything overnight, but because it will change something. And something is always enough to begin. And as you continue, day by day, step by step, you will notice a shift. The silence will feel less heavy. The days will feel less empty. And slowly, without even realizing it, you will begin to feel stronger. Not the kind of strength that the world sees loudly, but the kind that you feel deeply inside. The kind that says, I'm still here, and I'm still living. And that is something truly powerful. Now, before you go, I want to leave you with one simple thought. Your story is still being written. Every single day, you are adding to it, and you get to decide what the next page looks like. So, make it meaningful, make it active, make it yours. And if this message spoke to you, stay connected. There are more stories, more guidance, and more encouragement waiting for you. Subscribe to the channel, and don't miss the next video, because your journey towards strength, connection, and a fulfilling life is only just beginning.